So what is a listing agreement? It's basically a contract between you, the property owner, and the real estate brokerage that'll be handling the listing for you. Now this agreement identifies the parties involved, the subject property, and the terms, which include but not limited to pricing, fees, commissions, services, how everything will be handled, as well as some disclosures and notices. Now more than likely your agent, your real estate agent, will already have all this filled out, but keep in mind that some of this is negotiable. So make sure you have that agent go over everything and explain everything to you until you're satisfied and completely understand it to your satisfaction. Okay, now I'm going to run through this agreement, and the objective here is just to make you aware of what's in here, and this is for informational purposes only. I'll get in more depth about some of these paragraphs on different episodes. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll get notified of our new videos when they come out. So here we go. All right, so this is the exclusive right to sell listing agreement. It's from the Texas Association of Realtors and can only be used by its members. All right, one more time, this information should be already pre-filled out, so just make sure it's all correct. Section 1 identifies the seller, which is the person, persons, or entity. It's usually obtained from the county tax roll, so make sure it's right and make sure the contact information is correct. This is not necessarily a subject property, but where the correspondence should be handled. Also note, if married, spouse name as well needs to be on here. The broker will have all their information on here, so make sure you get a copy so you know where to send them information. Section 2 covers the property. This is a legal description. It's also from the county records, but just make sure that the street address right here is the street address of the property that's going to be listed. Make sure it's correct. Okay, sections B and C. Read through this, please. Do not be removing fixtures the day before closing. I've seen this happen before. However, if there is something that you want to take with you and do not want to convey with the property, there's another section for that here in a minute. At the bottom of each page, there's going to be a section for the seller's initials, 2 if you're married, 1 for the broker associate. And at the top of each page will be the property address. This should be automatically filled out for you. All right, this is the section I was talking about, section D. Be sure to list here what you do not want to convey in the sale of the property, such as a chandelier or family heirloom. If you do have a remove a fixture right before you leave, make sure you put another one up there. Don't be leaving wires out there. That's not going to look good. It may cause issues or what have you. All right, just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Section E goes over the HOA, whether it's subject to mandatory membership or not. Listing price. Make sure you read this very carefully. This is saying that the seller instructs broker to market the property at the following price, which means it is ultimately the decision of the seller for the listing price. All right, it's not going to be the broker. You can't go back later and say, well, my broker told me to list it at this price. It doesn't get it. Y'all have to come to an agreement, and y'all should work together and price it right to sell it. And also note, it will be in the history. So if you price it wrong and you start moving that price around, people might think there's something wrong with that property. So very important, price that property the right first time. All right, section 4 is a term. This is the term for the listing agreement between you and the broker. All right, so I've seen some of this last 30 days and I've seen some last up to a year. All right, it is negotiable, but they may already have that filled out. So just go over that with them. Section 5 is the broker's compensations. All right. These are left blank for a reason because they are negotiable. All right. Commissions and fees are not fixed here. I will cover more of this in another episode, but for now, this is where you will typically see where people enter 6% here in the first section and tell you that that is their standard rate. And it may be their standard rate, but that doesn't mean it's required. It's not law and it's not fixed. All right. Section 2 here is for usually where a flat fee broker will put that flat fee, and they might put a plus 3% for the buyer's commission on the other side of the transaction. All right, so a lot of people will get misled because they got like 1% listing fee or flat fee listing fee, and they'll add another fee to pay the broker on the buying broker. All right, so B and C goes over when it's earned and payable, and this section here tells you when it's not payable. All right, so there's other compensation. This is what you need to pay attention to. Breach under buyer's contract. You may be entitled to part of the earnest money if somebody submits a contract and they don't go all the way through and they breach their contract. Service provider. The broker may receive a fee from a referral, and that's not usually part of the closing. And that's not usually part of their fee. Section 3 here goes over other fees and reimbursable expenses. So if you get a flat fee broker, be very careful because they may start adding other fees right here in this section. So be very careful and see what is in here. If there's nothing here, make sure none is entered in there or waived or NA. I don't like to leave anything blank. I always put something in there. All right. Protection period. All right. When a listing agreement ends and the house is still not sold or under contract, then a protection period starts. So what is this? This is, well, a broker spends time and money to market the property. Right? The agreement ends because the time on the agreement ended. Now, a broker may have names that are interested in buying your house as a result from their marketing. So they have up to 10 days to submit these names to you. Now, in the event one of these people want to enter into a contract during this protection period with you, then you may be held liable to pay that broker according to the listing agreement. All right. Here's another section here that says when it's not due to them. So read through these. Section F is the county, usually where the subject property is located. We're going to be doing the pay-in. Section G, escrow authorization. This is basically authorizing an escrow agent to make payments from escrow where and to whom payment is due according to this listing agreement. All right, Section C is the listing services. Now, this has to do with the MLS. Either you will or will not file with the MLS. I'm not sure why anyone would not want to file, because that's the whole main reason for hiring an agent to put your property on the MLS where everybody can see it's for sale. All right. All right, so if you come over here and say broker will not file, I'm not sure why somebody would do that. Maybe unless it's an exclusive property and they don't want it out there in the public and let everybody know that their property is for sale. And wants that agent to procure them a buyer single-handedly or one-on-one. All right, B, listing content. This is basically anything the agent or the broker is going to be using to market your property. If you read right here, all broker listing content is owned exclusively by broker and seller has no right, title, or interest in or to any broker listing content. So just read through there. They're just basically saying that they own all the pictures, the video, the marketing that they do to put your property out there for sale. All right. 7 is access to the property. All right, so it's going to be hard to sell a property to someone who cannot see it. So this section goes over that access to the property. Now, most of the agents will be using a centralized showing service, and that service usually coordinates all the parties for access to the property. So you do have to say so on when to allow and when not to allow, but be mindful of people that may be working late. You are the one that authorizes the broker to place a key box on the property. Keep in mind, most people use a blue iBox now, which will record their information, their license number, who was shown in and what time. All right. Section D is liability and indemnification. Always safeguard your valuables at all times, whether you're selling or not. It's just safe practices. All right. Section 8 goes over how much of the broker's compensation is going to be, from Section 5 is going to be paid to the buyer's broker, the person that's bringing the buyer. Section 9 goes over intermediary, and which allows the listing brokers to show buyers that are working with agents from the same listing brokerage and the options to handle that type of transaction. So just read through here. Again, this is in bold. Anytime it's bold, you want to make sure you read through there. Section 10 is confidential information. Anything you say to the agent remains confidential unless required by law. So keep in mind, though, proper disclosure of material facts on the property is a must. Okay, so foundation is a major issue here in Texas. If it has been repaired, then it must be noted. You can't tell the agent that it's been fixed, and then on the seller's disclosure report saying it's never been fixed and everything's perfect. It's this deception. All right, can't do that. Just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All right, next section is broker's authority. This is basically the authority you give your agent, and you got a couple of options in here. And there's some notes right here. So read through these real carefully. And also Section 12 and 13 are seller's representations and seller's additional promises. One thing to keep in mind is the objective is to sell the property. So the agent's job is to procure a buyer, and the buyer needs to know what they are buying. So additional information may be needed. So make sure you read through here carefully. Again, y'all are both working to sell a property. Section 14, limitation of liability. Please keep your insurance updated as needed. Maintain the property, and make sure you read all this that's in bold. I'm not going to go through all of it, but it's right there to see it. You can pause the video and read through there. 15 is special provisions, anything that is outside the scope of this listing agreement. If there's nothing there, just make sure that you put none or NA, something is in there. All right, 16, 17, 18 goes over the legality of this listing agreement, so make sure to read through there. Section 19, this is pretty much covers other documents that may be required. It'll be checked off if other forms are needed. Section 20, agreement of parties. Now I want you to note something right here. On the letter G here, it says notices. Notices between the parties must be in writing and are effective when sent to the receiving party's address, fax, or email address specified in paragraph 1. Remember when I said in section 1, make sure you have the correct contact information. So just make sure that that's the right information on section 1. 21 is additional notices. I'm not going to read through all this, but please do read, and I will answer any questions you have. But just make sure you go through all this real good. Pays particular attention to K. Broker cannot give legal advice. Read this listing carefully. Do not understand the effective listing, consult an attorney before signing. Well, I tell you what, they got that in bold. All right. No agent should be giving you any legal advice. The only other thing I'm doing here is giving you for this informational purposes only. And to make all this legal, make sure everybody prints and signs dates where needed. Again, if you are a married person, make sure your spouse is on here as well. All right, so I hope this video helped you out. If so, give us a like on it, comment on it. If you know if it could help somebody else, well then share it with them. All right, we're just trying to bring awareness out there to help all the home sellers on the process of what it takes to sell a house. All right, take care, and God bless. All right, my name is Gerald Enriquez, and I am a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Texas. And I hope you got some value out of that video tutorial. If you have any questions and or concerns, by all means, feel free to contact me. On my information should be here on this page or on my About page. Send me your questions, and I'll try to cover it in another video. That way, if somebody else has that same questions, they can benefit as well. Also, take a look around this YouTube channel. You might already see some questions that already are answered. Whether you decide to use me or not, you should be able to benefit from this. You or anybody else that's planning on buying or selling a house. All right, take care, and God bless.